Here. Okay. All right. So how's everything? Is Tyler working today?
Yeah, I think he is. He stayed with my husband's parents last night. He's been staying with them if he has to go to work because it's closer to town.
Okay.
Um, so anyway, it's kind of hit or miss, but yeah. So
Are you doing okay emotionally with it?
yeah, like it was last week was kind of rough, and the week before, just I can't remember how long he's been here now, but it just is awkward because he's kind of some not real argumentative, but like if you say something he can like come back with whatever, and or you ask him a question and then it's just like answer and then that's it. And then I'm busy, trying to do stuff with the girls in the house, and so then he's just sitting there thinking like I'm ignoring him or something, but it's just busy and like I don't know. And so and I tried to sit down last Monday maybe and talk with him just about his like attitude and stuff, or his gets all depressed, and then he was just like, well, I'm not like that all the time. And like, you told me you have been for 19 years. Like everything he says like contradicts what he said or before. And so I kind of just like whatever with that. And but it is just not comfortable, I guess. But this week so far has been, so it's been a lot better.
Good.
I don't know.
Do y'all have like a goal, like a time limit for him?
Well, we have like made like basically a checklist of stuff he needs to do, and well, we don't have a time frame, but he's like, got to be working, and I don't think he can start school until like the spring semester. So but stuff with his work, like getting called in, but he didn't actually have to be there, but then got called in for somebody that wasn't there, and then he went to lunch with the guy. Like it just, some of it isn't making sense, and so we're not really sure what's going on. And
I understand
that the kid that trained him is dating, like he's 20 and he's dating a 38-year-old who has a son basically his age. And so we know that it's confusing. The gal's son smokes pot, and so we don't know like if the kid that Tyler works with is like, if that might be going on. But my husband, he's just like, well, if he does one thing or whatever, like we give him a chance, and that we told him that was it or whatever. So he's just not motivated really, and he thinks we're on him about the stuff, and it's like, this is why you're here. So
yeah, anyway. Exactly. This is why, and this is why you're here. Yeah, sometimes it's like what I've noticed with kids is we teach, we plant seeds, we teach, we plant seeds, and then finally something comes along that shakes them or that gets them, but it's usually not me.
Yeah.
It's usually not that. It's a totally different situation. And but then it's like, oh my goodness, they heard everything that I said. They, now they're going this way, or but sometimes I think, who are you? And what, like, because my oldest even, he's 27 now, so oh my gosh, he's gonna be 28 in October. I can't even believe that. So him growing up, I was like pretty much all my kids, the aliens take you like and bring you back, because I don't even know who you are, what you're believing. These are lies that you're telling, or and then some of their thought processes and beliefs, I would think, are you kidding me? And I still, and it's going to depend on their personalities, and but when they get older, you're like, oh, okay, this is better. This is okay. And like even my 21-year-old, sometimes I'm thinking, okay, most of the time he's got a good head on his shoulders. But then sometimes I'm thinking, what's going on here? So as they get older and older, unless they never grow out of it, because some people just don't. But sometimes it takes a girl coming in their life. Sometimes it takes, them falling rock bottom, and you have to let them go through the rock bottom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's hard to watch and it's sad to see, but sometimes they that's the only thing that gets them out of it. So
I'm not finished with my food.
You're finished with your food? Okay. But yeah, I know it can be difficult, but it seems like you're doing okay.
Yeah, I try to, like, okay, I'm not weird or awkward. Like, it's comfortable. And yeah.
You have, we know we believe, after we start speaking those truths, we know when we actually believe them, it's when our emotions line up with them. So when you don't really even have to think about it anymore. So let's just say, you're always speaking I have favor. Even when people, when I'm trying not to make people like me, they like me anyway. You know what I'm saying? You have that favor. But when your emotions actually align up with it and you believe it, that's when you know that truth is in there. And then you can be yourself.
Yeah.
So it takes a while to get those, for you to actually believe those truths, because we've been speaking the other things for so long that's what our brain believes. But our brains are meant to believe what we hear and what we speak, because faith comes by hearing.
Yeah.
So eventually all of that's going to line up and you're going to be like, wow, I believe this, and my emotions line up with this. And then you can be yourself more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what kind of holds me back is we can't be comfortable just in our house, it's just he was gone for 10 years and he'd come visit, but it's kind of like a stranger, we know him, but so just for me, it's home has always been kind of a sanctuary, growing up, but we didn't have people coming in and out. It was just I'm not used to just people staying, or whatever. That's kind of a habit, I guess, that was just the way that I grew up. But I admire or would like to be the people that just kind of opens their home, or is welcoming, and not no, this is I don't know how to explain it, but
no, I get it.
But yeah, I guess at this point I'm just I don't want to sound mean or bad, but it's just I don't like it. I mean, I want him to get better, but it's just our world is shaken up. So
yeah. And God's going to show you some stuff through this for you. Even he's going to he doesn't do all this for Tyler. He does this for you too.
Yeah.
And you'll see things about yourself. You'll learn more things. I know with Christian, I was very uncomfortable. I didn't stay in my exact routines, and which, and then I finally started to go, I just don't care.
Yeah.
I'm going to do whatever I do. It doesn't matter what she thinks. It doesn't matter what she thinks about me. This is who I am. And I just said, this is what I'm going to do. And if she doesn't like it, well, because I was always thinking in my brain, she's comparing me to her mom. I'm not the same, or I'm not as fun as her mom, or I'm not this, or I'm not that. But, it's just, that's what I'm saying. When your emotions line up with what you're saying.
Yeah.
And that's when I finally got to the point of, I'm going to wake up in the morning. I'm going to do everything that I do. And I don't care if it's me putting worship music on and I'm praying in front of her, because that's kind of the stuff that's hard to do when people live with you. And because she would get up and put Grey's Anatomy on, and I'm thinking, okay, wait, no, Bree cannot watch that.
Yeah.
Okay. You cannot have this show on with Bree, and I really got in the habit of letting her control what I did. I didn't do what I normally do. Now, I don't know if you are that way, but that's kind of what happened. And my whole life flip-flopped.
Yeah.
And I had to get comfortable with myself that I didn't care anymore. And if she didn't like my worship music and she wanted to play her country music or whatever, well, I'm going to blare my Christian music just like she does her country music, because that's what I like. And this is my home. And I still was a hostess to her and loved her, but that's what I'm saying, teaches you how to just be yourself in the midst of all of that. I don't know if you struggle with what I just said, but
oh yeah, I mean, because even like normally, like on the weekends, like we with the girls have always, like, we have the Little House on the Prairie series, like DVDs, and that's kind of our weekend thing. We either like get pizza or something else, and we just will kind of have fun and watch that. And but I'd usually like bathe and put on PJs, and then we just sit on the couch, and like the shorts that I wear are like shorter than, I mean, not like anything inappropriate, but like I'm just not comfortable, so then I just like wait till we're getting ready to go to bed to bathe, or even just coming out to get coffee before I get ready in the morning, because he's in the living room. Like right now we have an unfinished basement, and so now that's another thing, like we're gonna be some guys coming over today, so we can look at starting to finish that. Like, this is an expense that we were not going to do for a long time.
Now, see, what we did is we refused, because we thought, okay, let's go ahead and get a 3-bedroom house while she's here. But then I would be settling because I couldn't find anything that I liked.
Yeah.
And I finally said, we're not making this more comfortable for her, so she'll stay longer.
Yeah.
That's what we kind of said, because if the more comfortable she was, because what I was finding myself doing was trying to make sure she was comfortable and everything, and I was putting who I am on the back burner, and I thought, no, I can't do that because I'm losing who I am.
Yeah.
And so it actually made it more uncomfortable for her that she didn't want to stay here.
Yeah.
So because of who we are and how we do things, it's not what a 22-year-old wants to do.
Yeah.
They're not going to want to sit around and watch Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's what we're watching. That's what we do. Yeah. And if you want to watch something, we can do that too. We're going to add you into this family, but we're not going to quit doing these things. And so, if you have, I don't know if you have PJs that are longer pants, but, I would, for me, if you want to be comfortable, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Let's do that. And then, you may not want to wake him in the morning, but I would be like, I would be so quiet and not to wake her. And I thought, I am not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not. And not that I'm trying to be not caring or whatever, but they are at an age where they need to take responsibility.
Yeah.
And not saying not to do the basement. I'm not saying that because it's probably going to help you feel more comfortable. But sometimes when that happens, they tend to think, oh, well, I have this, so why do I need to get out?
Yeah. Well, like we have like an extra bedroom up here that I'm in right now, but like over this last year, like it's been like the office, and like we've made it like kind of a schoolroom. Like I've got all of our stuff in here.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Yeah.
It's like my favorite room in the house because like our living room is like in the middle of the house and has no windows. Like I mean, it's got windows you can see from like our eating area, but it's just dark.
Darker, yeah.
But I love this room because like I can see the road and the cars and the light coming in. And anyway, but part of me, when I knew it was coming, I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to like, you know, I could see it like, why would we just keep that if he needs a place, you know, to stay? But then I could also see like, you know, this is a big part of our life now is homeschooling. And
It
Brian,
is.
he's like, no, we're not altering, you know, all of that, you know, for what, you know, because he messed up down there. Like we're, you know, anyway, but the basement thing, I think my husband, he's just like, well, we were going to do it anyway someday. And,
Yeah.
and
then you'll have it done.
yeah, but like, you know, it's kind of a stressor because now it's like a storage area. Now I got to figure out where to like
Yes.
put everything so we can finish it anyway. But then I just think just his attitude, like he got called into work one morning and I don't think he meant it this way, but he's like, you know, can you make me a couple sandwiches? And on my mind, I'm like, you're 19 years old. Like nobody's making my food for me. Like I made my own for myself. And I think he was just like in a hurry but it wasn't, I know he doesn't feel comfortable. Like he can just go make food. Like, cause like I plan stuff out and we just don't have a lot of extra stuff, you know, like, but you know, there's cereal, there's bread, you know, he can make sandwiches and stuff. But even his laundry, I'm like, I'm not doing your laundry. Like he asked how to use the washing machine. And so I showed him, you know, based on like, he didn't know if there was a certain way because that type of machine. But his laundry is just piled up behind the couch. And I'm like, are you waiting for me to do it? You know, like I'm not going to do it. Like this isn't when you came to visit.
I would have his dad tell
catered
him. Yeah, I would have his dad tell him, you need to do your laundry.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's the other thing is that I told Brian, I said, Tyler's schedule now, he's like working when my husband is off. And so I'm the one that's like here with him all the time. And I don't have that feel comfortable just to be like,
can he call him?
Yeah.
I would have him call him.
He like communicates, well, they'll like text or call or stuff, but like, you know, it's like with the girls, I can be like, okay, you know, clean up your room, you know, or I just dumped their laundry in the hall and I said, okay, you guys figure out who's
I want to play this game.
No, we're not doing that right now. Go in there.
But I just told him, you know, figure out, you know, whose is who and put it away. But I just don't have that comfort.
Yeah, you were saying the exact same things as how I would feel. I mean,
Yeah.
it's exact. So see, it is a blended family thing.
Yeah.
So I would tell Dusty, hey, you need to call Christian and you need to tell her this. And hey,
Yeah.
you need to, this is, you know, she needs to do,
Yeah.
she needs to go pick up the poop in the backyard from her dog, or she needs to do this, or, you know, if she's going to go stay the night out somewhere, she's taking her dog with her and we're not going to watch her dog. And
Yeah.
I mean, it was just stuff like that. But I have found, here's the difference between stepkids and your own kids. If my son would have said, can you make me a sandwich? I would have said, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Then if my stepkids come and say that, my brain goes through all the things that, especially if they're being irresponsible and why they're there. You are an adult. You need to make your own thing. And that is, I hate saying that, but I'm not saying there are times that I can wait too much on my own kids. Like one of them especially likes to be served a lot, Chandler. And I will finally go, I have the plate out and you need, you can do it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there are times, but there is definitely a difference. So I don't want you to don't feel bad about that, because there's just the difference. And sometimes I might be like, oh, well, he needs help with his laundry and maybe I'll just do it for him real quick. but I'm not going to do it and I'm just saying that's how the difference of how you feel. And it is a different feeling, especially if they've been irresponsible. Even if your kids have been irresponsible and they're your kids, and I hate to say that, there's a difference. And like there's this heart in me that, and not that I don't like to serve my stepkids, because I do. I literally want to, but there is a difference feeling sometimes. So it is how it is. But it is normal. It is normal. It is normal because I'm a nice person. I love to serve people. I love to be there for them. So if I tell my husband, if I can feel this way, then because I have a heart for them and I love his kids. So if I deal with these feelings, I feel like anybody can deal with these feelings. And I don't like to feel used and taken advantage of. Yeah. And go in there. Go in there, baby girl.
Go in there, baby girl.
So, I just wanted to tell you it's a normal feeling. Yeah. And because Miles can come home and visit, and I'll be like, do you want me to let me make you a plate of food, and here, let me do this, and let me do that. And I know it's just like, hey, no ma'am. She found this new app. When she talks, it copies her.
Oh, yeah.
So just, you're doing a good job, and it is not easy, but I definitely wouldn't make it. I mean, I don't want to even say that. God will show you exactly what to do. I don't like to give people the exact advice we use because he knows the situation for Tylis and y'all. And I'd always have to think, God has a plan for her. God has a plan for them. They are his children, and show me, God, what you want me to do in this situation. You've put him here in my home, and you've got to show me how to do this. And sometimes it meant staying up with her till 2 or 3 in the morning and talking, and I would be like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to have any sleep. Or, but God did do some special things during that time, and he's going to do the same with y'all. And then when you start feeling like you can't take it anymore, like you really can't, it's probably getting pretty close to time when God's going to do something. Because I did get to the point of saying, I'd be making my bed, I cannot do this anymore. You have got to, and me and my talking, right? I would have faith and talk, but there would be times I was crying saying, it's too much stress. It's too much stress, Lord. Please do something. Please move her. Please get her somewhere else. And sure enough, he did. And she has this dog that would poop and chew all the poop up. So there was poop pieces all in the backyard. And she would go, and then she wouldn't pick up the poop. And she was staying gone and lying about what she's doing. And when she's lying.
Yeah.
So I understand, Kylie.
Yeah.
When you told me that, I was like, oh, I was thinking, I'm so sorry. But that's when you really have to speak things. I'm telling you, you don't want to do it, but you have to do it. And just don't let it change who you are. You just keep being yourself with him there, because that is going to make you the happiest, because you will lose your joy when you're trying to get your joy if you're being somebody different than you are.
Yeah. So
definitely just be who you are. Go in there and get your coffee.
Yeah.
If you have something that's now, like when Dusty's son lived with us for a while, I had to put my bra on.
Yeah.
I don't like to wear bras. First of all, every time you see a video of me, probably with my face, I always have my pajama pants on. I like my pajama pants, and I know these women are always like, well, you need to dress the part, and you need to get up, and you need to do this. Well, I will get dressed for the day and I will leave, but come home, but my pajama pants are coming on. It's just because I want comfort. Like I move around and do this stuff better in comfort. And it could be workout pants or pajama pants, but my husband laughs at me. He's like, look at the top of you and look at the bottom of you.
I want this skin.
Okay, but not right now. Oh, wait. Sorry. Hang on, let me.
Hi.
But that's just kind of how I look.
Yay!
You know, it's just because people could come over and not even realize I have been ready for the day and out and about.
Yeah.
Because I'm just going to be comfortable.
Well, that's how, like, whenever we, you know, just get bathed up and sit on the couch and have a pizza party, watch Little House, whatever, like, I don't want to wear a bra because I've got my PJs on, but I can just put one on. But that was part of it too.
Or wear a dark shirt.
Yeah.
You know, I'll wear a dark shirt. I don't. Mine, I have to have a bra on. I'm just saying some women can get away with it. I cannot.
Yeah.
But I can with a dark shirt.
Yeah.
And so I look for something that I think, okay, this is what I'm going to put on.
But no, I'm that comfort. Like, I'll put on clothes to go somewhere, but then when I come back, I just put on like a t-shirt and like shorts or you know, just workout pants or whatever. Because plus, like, I don't know if it's a mindset thing. Like, I just don't want to get them like more like used up, or I'm not comfortable. And plus, if I'm doing stuff, I don't want to get them dirty. Like,
Kylie, are you sure? So you sent me these messages today. And I am thinking, are you sure you're not a type 1?
I might
Seriously. I'm listening to her going, that sounds like me. Yeah, you go gung-ho for something and then, okay, I'm not. And then you go gung-ho for something and, okay, then we're going to change. And I'm like, is she a type 1? Because you have to, I was thinking the whole time you were saying this, I was like, she's got to learn her personality. Because you have to love it. Like, I have weaknesses in my personality, but I love my personality because I can be spontaneous and I can get stuff done. And I learn a lot because I do get gung-ho over something and then I'm able to learn things.
Yeah.
Like, you got gung-ho over Trim Healthy Mama. Yeah. You know, I was watching you do that or whatever. And I just think, like, and I don't know that you can function this way, but you just tell me what you think. Because, okay, so Carol Tuttle said something the other day about type 1s and how they need structure and not structure, because I don't like to be in the box. Like you were saying, if you just feel like rigid. And if somebody tells me I have to do something, I am going to rebel and be like, I don't have to do that. And if there's a rule, I'm going to find a way around the rule. Like, you know, it doesn't have to be done this way. There's another way that it can be done. Because I even know you said something about Dancy. If you feel like you have to do something like this, then, but anyway, so she was saying that type 1 sometimes they need like structure, like have a set morning time and maybe a set night time. But the stuff that you can do during the day, you can juggle it up. And I don't know if this is you, but she was saying, you know, at least your morning time and at least your night time. But during the day, you can do it. So I know that I've got to get 4 or 5 things done, okay? But I know I'm good to say, okay, I can do that at this time, and I can do that at this time, and I can. So it won't be, like it won't be 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11.
Those planners that are like that, like I can't
do it.
Then I just feel like a failure, you know, like, well, it's already 10 and I didn't get to 8, or I just don't like having to be told what to do.
No, I don't either. And the people who tell me, and maybe, I don't know if this is like you, but when somebody says in October, well, what's your plan for Christmas? I'm like, what? Like, I don't even know. Because something else may come up and we'll figure this out. And maybe you like to plan a little better, but I cannot handle planning that far in advance.
Now the planning, like I kind of am a planner. Like
Yeah.
I like to know like what we're buying for Christmas and have it wrapped like by Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
or just so I can enjoy and not
Yes.
enjoy the season and not be like, okay, you know, I gotta still do this and this. What was I gonna say? I guess that's where I like. I do like kind of everything in its place, and like before we had kids, like every Friday, or even when I was in college, like every Friday I'd come home, clean the house, and then it's just done, and enjoy the weekend, you know. Like I could be like have some of those
Do
rhythms
you
that were
stay with it? Do you stick with it?
yeah, but now I'm like all over the place. Like I might clean the bathroom once every 2 weeks or every week. You know, it's just there's not a
But had you always been like that? Okay, because I'm just curious. Have you always been like you can stick to it or not? Or have you always been more like when you were little, were you more like that or were you more like you
well,
are now? Because
I
either,
go ahead.
I was going to say, I wonder if you're living in your secondary now or you used to live in your secondary. Maybe you're getting healing and you're living
I
in your
know.
primary.
Like
So that's what I'm
yeah.
wondering about you.
Well, like when I was younger, I like everything, like there were not any interruptions really. Like that's where I was talking to my husband a lot. Like I struggle so much with life because like I never had to really deal with anything. Like everything, I mean, not that life was perfect or my parents were perfect or things, friends, you know, there was always like, you know, stuff with, you know, that stuff. But like my just
I love you. I like this game. It's cool.
But go put it up.
No more games.
Right. Sorry.
but life just was not, it was predictable. Like I'd go to high school, I'd come home to my homework, and then I think my sophomore year or junior, I started teaching classes at the Y. And so then, and
But
I,
did
you
you
know,
like the predictability? Is that who you
yeah,
are? Or did you like different things?
well, like I did back then. I mean, and when I went away to college, like, cause I was never, my mom never made me do anything. She never made me do laundry or clean or do anything. My dad took care of my car. Like I vacuumed it out and washed it and stuff, but he changed the oil in it, whatever needed done. Like I don't even know how I turned out the way I did. Like, but like I think it's just because I grew up in a home where they took care of things. Like I wanted that, and so I just figured it out. So I just, but it was kind of structured when I went away to school. Like I got my stuff done.
Was your mom and dad, were they very structured? Like
Well,
life was predictable. You knew what was
yeah, like my
going to
dad mowed
be. And
grass like based on the weather, but it was like Tuesdays and Fridays, and my mom cleaned every week. And but like she didn't, they both worked, but my dad was always, they're always busy doing something. But not in the evening, they'll, you know, if they're not, didn't have something that they had to do, it was just kind of
so
chill
they're
out,
not
watch
type
TV.
ones. They're not type ones.
No. And my dad, I think he might be either a type 1 or secondary type 1, because he's got the round, he's like the third child, but he's fun. Like
But that
but
could
it
be
kind
his secondary.
yeah.
Usually type ones can't stick to a schedule like forever.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not gonna be, they're not gonna mow a lawn here and here. Like
Yeah.
I have, my dad is a type 1 and my mom's a type 1. So
Oh.
I was now they were divorced when I was little, but there was never like, not every day looked the exact same. Just
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah. Well,
So,
and I think my mom's either like a 3-4 or a 4-3. But she can be fun too, but it always came after things got done that needed to be done. Like,
Yeah.
we'll go do a day trip, but she makes sure everything's done.
Okay, so how about you?
Well,
You need to do something. Do you want to do the fun stuff first, and will you end up doing that first? Like
Well,
me, I'm all about the fun.
I think I need a balance, but if I come home and the house is a mess, like,
Yeah.
that's really hard for me.
Me
Like,
too. Me too.
but if I get it done and then go do it, like, I enjoy it more. But I don't know. That's where I really struggle, like, because I got kind of back into looking at, like, Carol Tuttle's The Types. And then I'm like, I need her to tell me who I am. And I'm like, what am I saying? Like,
Well, and see, that's why I wonder if you're a type 1. The only reason I say that is because, okay, I'm looking at your nose. Does it kind of go up a little? You have a little button nose. You got a round circle. When you smile, you have these little, like right here, and smile again. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I don't know, but I know type 1s have such a hard time, and they see possibilities in all of their faces. And I'm not saying you're a type 1, but you could, if you're raised in a structured home, that could totally affect it. If I'm am I a type 1? Really? Sometimes I think, am I a type 1 because I was raised by a type 1? So maybe I have more of a characteristics of type 1.
Yeah.
But I'm a more serious type 1. Like, I know me though, like inside, if my house is messy, I don't like it, and I am stressed, and I can't function when my house is a mess. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm really good at making it clean, like all the time, like staying. I always say, okay, I'm going to keep my house clean like this. And no, because I will find other things that I need to do, like, or that I want to do, and I don't stick to my schedule like I want. So I just was thinking with you, you know all the mindset things, you know what you want, you know your goals, you know that you can speak those, and change starts from the inside out. But I think learning your personality and knowing that's why I love Carol Tuttle, or that's why I love, like, do you know your Myers-Briggs? Do you know what you are?
Well, I haven't taken like the big test, but whenever I've taken 2 different like free ones, and I think or said I was a INFJ.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think that's what it was.
Usually type 1s aren't like that. Well, because I'm an ENFP or an ENTP. I switch back and forth.
Yeah.
And I have an Enneagram of a 7.
Well, and I took that thing, and I can't remember what it was, because I can't remember.
If you can learn your personality and you know it, to me, I think that's key. Being my age, that's what's helped me the most. Like, I've tried to stay balanced. I've tried to do all these things, but it just doesn't work for me the way that a type 3 would do it, or a type 4 would do it. But the world makes it look like this is what it has to look like, and this is what I have to do. So when I learned this is what I do, I am a type 1, and I'm okay with that. So type 1s, they need the spontaneity. They need something fun to look forward to. So I do try to get my stuff done before I start looking up things. So fun can look different to different type 1s. So researching is fun to me, or learning new things is fun to me. I would rather learn new things than have to do my work. I have to do some of the parts of my work is not fun, and I will find that I will start doing these other things before I do that. So I have to know, okay, Libby, you get this done, then you can do that. So if you know your personality, that is going to help you with your balance, whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah.
Because type 1's balance is not going to look like a type 4's or type 3. It's just not. And if I do that, I'm losing the gifts inside of me. I'm not being able to function correctly or walk in who God made me, because sometimes I'm like, you gave me this personality, You know how I am, and I can't seem to get it together sometimes, like just with certain like things. So I speak my truths, but I know who I am.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a type A. I don't want to be a type 3, and I don't want to be a type 4.
Yeah.
So finding that, Kylie, is going to be key. So you can be like, I'm okay with this. Okay.
Yeah.
And I like to piggyback my tasks. Okay, so this helps me piggyback my tasks. If I'm going to do, if I'm going to watch TV, I'm going to fold laundry. If I'm going to, I'm just going to do something together. And that helps me get my tasks done. And I still have that level of fun. And I don't have to feel guilty about it. You know, I'm going to get on the phone and talk to my friends while I clean house.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to just sit there. I'm going to clean house and talk to my friends. As a matter of fact, I will call my friends while I clean because it helps me get through my cleaning really fast. I know that works for me. Some people will be like, well, if I clean, then I can call. You know, but I do it all together. Or if I know that I have 5 minutes or have 10 minutes. So instead of doing it all at once, if I have 5 or 10 minutes, I take advantage of that 5 and 10 minutes, or I put on 2 songs and this is my type 1 in me. And I figure out, I do as much as I can in 2 songs. Yeah. Or, you know, I know for 5 minutes, I could just be sitting here waiting on something, and I know, okay, for 5 minutes, I know I can unload that dishwasher or load it. So a lot of times that's what getting organized looks like in my world. Mm-hmm. So instead of saying on Monday, this is what I'm going to do, or on Tuesday, this is what I'm going to do, I'll look around and actually see, well, okay, what actually needs to be done? And if this floor looks clean and there's 3 dirty spots on it, I may clean just the dirty spots and not worry about the whole thing. That's what I have found works for me. And I don't know if that resonates with you, but that's balance in my world.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to have balance that maybe looks like what your mom and dad did, and you're not that type of personality, then you're going to fail and feel out of balance all the time.
Yeah.
So what are you?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Well, the personality thing, what's hard for me, and probably for a lot of people, is like, you know, when you look back as a kid or who you are now, like, it's like, how do you know what is the way God made you versus just how you grew up kind of makes you who you are, because you take on, you know, kind of.
Have you ever asked God to show you that?
Well, yeah, and like, yes, and
okay.
I'm like, you know, what type am I? What, you know, what's my personality? And like, I haven't gotten a clear answer. And then I'll get so like researching or just looking into it so much that I'm just like, I don't even know. And then like, is God going to just say there's 4 types, or, you know, like there's every person on this earth is created in his image. Like, is it just that? And, but then, so then I just
sound like type 1 in that thought process. I'm not saying why am I saying that is because that's how I feel. Now maybe other types do that, but that totally is me. Like I'll get into it and it drives me crazy. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm just not I'm not gonna learn this anymore. And then I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna go back to it. But reading The Child Whisperer helped me. Have you read that?
No, I have it.
It helped me read. The Child Whisperer helped me identify me. It helped me to identify the kids, but I think it helped me more than anything reading that Child Whisperer, because it's like, And so, like, first of all, are you an external processor or are you an internal processor? Is your energy outward or is your energy inward? Because I thought maybe you were an introvert at first, and I don't know.
I don't either. Like, I feel like middle, because I'm like, I internally process things, but then like I also like I get energy from alone time, but I get energy from like being around friends. And then it's like, oh my gosh, we've got to like do stuff with other couples all the time. And then,
Okay. Yeah. Me too. Me too.
but then I'm like, then that's enough. Like, I mean, you know, there's just, I'm like,
my husband said, I'm going to get you a shirt that says, I love people until I don't.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe it's like, and then I'll take a picture of my face, and then I'll be like, get out of the shower, and I'm like, oh, take a picture like just without any makeup on, like, and then I'm studying it, like, what do I see? Like, maybe I'm a type 3, but then
I don't think you're
know.
a 3. I really don't think you're a 3.
Yeah.
Like I think you need to do process of elimination. I don't think you're a 3, and I don't think you're a 4.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just spending this much
Yeah.
time with you, I don't think that. If you're anything, you could be a 2-1 or a 1-2, or I don't think you're a double extrovert for sure.
No.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, could you be a 1-4? Could you be, if you like things, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know my secondary. I don't know if I'm a 1-2, and I don't know if I'm a 1-4. Sometimes I'm like, no, I'm a 1-4. And then sometimes I'm thinking, no, I know I'm a 1-2. And
Yeah.
I can't figure that out, and it kind of drives me bananas. But sometimes I'm like a 1-2 because I can wear my hair longer, and I don't have a longer face, or, you know, these are the things that I think. But like, I have these hands that look like older hands. They always have, like, and you can't even see the wrinkles on them. But
yeah, mine are like that.
But I thought, oh, these are type 3 hands. So anyway, I know it can be confusing, but I've just decided learning what I lead with was the most important to me. And now, I mean, it brought so much joy to me thinking I am a 1. I am a 1. And my facial features, they are the hardest things for me to figure out.
Yeah.
They are on me. I can see stuff on other people, but
I agree with that. Yeah.
I think I have more star points. But like, I have this little circle here on my nose. My eyes do this, but I've always had heavier eyelids right here. But I don't know. So I don't know if this jaw of mine.
When you smile, like, you know, you just kind of have that like type 1, like, kind of light up.
Oh, you think so? Because I don't see that in me. But I see, like, is this squareness? Is this a 4?
Yeah.
Or do I have enough, you know? So I understand what you're saying, but, and I don't know that this is helping you, but I just feel like if you can, I just don't want you to feel like you have to look like your parents. If you were in such a structured home, and, you know, you have to be okay if that's not who you are.
Well, that's what's hard, is like, I was so peaceful then. Like, I felt peaceful, and now it's just like chaos. But is it because I don't know how to handle this, like, real life? Because basically, like, nobody really has just kind of like a steady.
When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you want to do? Or what do you do?
I want to get a cup of coffee and sit down.
Yeah.
But then I'm upset that I didn't get ready or work out or whatever. Like, but I don't want the structure. But then I feel better if I do.
You are just like me. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I'm probably further along in that I don't let it make me feel bad anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just like, nah. I'll find another time where I have my quiet time, or I'll find another time to do this or whatever. But if I was raised in a more structured home, I probably would get up. Like, my mom didn't have a time that I had to get up, or, you know, anything like that. I mean, except for school. And yeah, I just didn't have a structured time, and there wasn't a certain day we went to the grocery store. There wasn't. I mean, she'd be like, "Oh, I've got it." Now she was very good at getting her dishes washed at night. It may be very late because we did other stuff, but she liked her dishes washed at night. Um, so I don't know. I mean, at the same time, I like Carol Tuttle. I know that we're all different, but we do have an energy that we lead with.
Yeah.
And if we're not honoring that, we're not balanced. We don't like what we're doing because we're trying to be something else that we're not. So just discovering that is going to be huge for you, because it was, I mean, I think so. It was huge for me. I know that I need outside influences to help me get through a goal. I need some accountability. I need something like even short-term goals, and somebody's helping me, or I'm not going to do it. I just won't do them.
Yeah. I think even in the case of accountability, even if you're not like, for me, if I'm not like answering to somebody, but just being around people, like kind of keeps me in check. Whereas if I'm just home all the time,
Mm-hmm.
I can just kind of get like, it doesn't matter. Or, just, does that make sense? Like,
yeah, I'm the same way. I'm not
Yeah.
going to be self-motivated like a type A personality or whatever. I don't know what personality, like a type 3 is going to get all that stuff done. I'm not, and I can't juggle a lot at once. I get stressed. And I can't, and I get overwhelmed, and I think, oh my gosh, because I have all these ideas that I want to do, but a type 3 could do it. I'm going to juggle them, and I'm going to drop the balls. And I'm not, if I say I can be like if a type 3 says they're going to be there and they're going to do it, they are going to do it. I'm not. If I have too much stuff going on, I won't. And I don't have a problem. And, I used to not say no to people, but I don't have a problem saying no. And I may let things fall, and I'll call somebody and say, I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. So now I kind of know my limits.
Yeah.
But.
Well, and that's something like if I've made a commitment, like I will let home or family suffer. Like, because I made a commitment or whatever. And that's one thing in this past year, like, I feel like Satan has, like, I almost just laugh at it now. Like I feel like it's the enemy. Like I'll have plans or, and like people cancel on me all the time in this past year. And it's like, I would get so stressed because I plan like my day around it, and I'm like, okay, like I got up and I got ready, or, my friend, I remember the first time one of my friends now, the first time I had her come over and we kind of just started a friendship, like she was like way late, and she's always like just late, which
Maybe
I was always
she's a 1.
but I don't know what I was gonna say. I don't know if that's like I feel like it's just an area where just Satan has really just been like, oh, I'm gonna get you one more time. Like that's what I feel like it's been like, because it, I don't know where I was going with it, but
well, what do you think has changed to make you feel like it's chaos lately? How long has this been going on, and what do you feel like?
Kind of since we've had kids,
Okay.
the lack of control of anything, and my kids like never. I can't say never let me do anything, but like Lily, my oldest, would just cry like all the time, and like she wasn't comforted by me, but she didn't want me doing anything, and so then, but that just like internally like paralyzed me. Like I couldn't. Like, I can't clean the house because I can't handle, like, the crying. And So that's kind of, I guess, where it started whenever I had her.
Okay.
But, and I don't know, maybe like I wasn't, and maybe if I am kind of just type 1, since I grew up in a, more structured environment, I don't know how to like live in that, even if it's kind of my natural, like I've been trained in something else, you know what I mean? Like, but I don't know.
What would make you feel like you've got everything under control? What does that look like to you? That everything's balanced. What does that look like in your life?
It means that we don't have clutter in the house and the house is clean and I know what we're eating. Like, it's not 4 o'clock. I mean, I do plan out our meals and stuff, but if I can get up and throw something in the crock pot, like I feel so much better because I don't have to like do it later.
Mm-hmm.
But
how many days are more organized or more chaos? Do you feel like every day is more chaos, or do you have days that are more organized? Do you feel like you have to have it perfect every day?
I guess ideally, like.
So if it's not, how do you respond to your day and your kids and your husband? And yourself? What are you saying to yourself?
Well, like Sundays, my husband like doesn't get around like for church. Well, I don't either. Like we both kind of need to get around earlier. So then we're rushing around for church. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to get the kids ready and then trying to get breakfast. And then we're out the door and, it's just stressful. And I'm not as bad as I used to be, but like, where was I going with this? Oh, I am like not real fun to be around because I'm like, come on, you need to get going. Like we need to, like I'll be getting ready and I'll go to get the kids ready. And I'm like, it's 7 o'clock, you need to, or 8 o'clock, whatever you need to. Well, that's all I say. It's 8 o'clock. Like, get out there. And I think he's a type 1 or secondary 1. Like he's very go with the flow. Anyway, but.
Well, even type 1 sometimes can't be as go with the flow depending on their state. Because I understand what you're saying.
Hang on. Yeah? Let me go wipe the bottom real quick.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Well, I was thinking like I react very like, or my attitude is just frustrated, short, just irritated, like kind of not really slamming stuff around, but like just trying to get stuff done. But I want people to know that I'm irritated. Like,
yeah.
I'm the only one picking up around here.
Yes. I totally get that. Used to, I'm better now, but when I would come in my home and if it was a mess, like let's say it was, and I'm thinking when the boys were really little, when the house was a mess, I'd come home from church even, and I'd be in a horrible mood and be like, you need to work on this, you need to get this done, and blah, 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 blah. And I mean, I would be so mad. I don't really do that anymore. I don't. So yeah. I'm like, okay, it's a mess. It'll get cleaned. We can clean it. Let's, how can we clean this together and make it more fun? How can I encourage Bree to clean up you know, and I do. She likes to try to beat a song. So I don't really allow it to make me that way anymore. So you said something about how you react. So I know that, okay, so life is not going to be perfect. Well, I think balance is a lie. There's just no balance. I mean, I don't think you can, what's balance look like? You know, it's, you're not going to be perfect. You're not perfect. Life's not going to be perfect. So in the midst of life, how do we react? And we don't want to react. We want to learn to respond, right? So that's preparing your mind that if your daughter spills and pours out your $20 bottle of shampoo, how are we going to react and how are we going to respond? Or are we going to react or are we going to respond? We know that they're, you know, I know Bree's 4 years old. And yes, I'm going to mess up, but I know in my mind, the more that I can respond to something and not, boom, react, like I am preparing myself beforehand to know that life is just not perfect. And I have worked on this in my thoughts. Life is not balanced. And it doesn't matter if the house isn't cleaned. I mean, yes, I function better. I actually, you know, like I can work, my brain's more clear when the house is cleaned up. But I don't want my husband or my daughter to remember me like a tyrant when my house is dirty. And that's what I was. So even type 1s are like that. And it isn't just all this fun lovey thing every time, you know, it's just not the truth. Like I am a 1 something, and my mom is a 1, very 1, bubbly, blah blah blah, hugs everybody. You won't get out of here without her kissing you and hugging you, and he leads with this bounce, and that's why I thought, I don't even know how I'm a 1 if she is so 1. But I really looked at how I lead and my energy and who I am, but I'm a more serious 1. And so for instance, you know, 1s want everybody to be happy. And I do want people to be happy. Like if I'm in a room and a teacher asks a question, nobody answers, I want to answer to make the teacher feel okay. Like that's just who I am. However, like if mom and I were in a fight when I was younger and we would go someplace and she would be like, oh, you know, acting like we're not in a fight, I'd look at her and go, I am not going in here and pretending like I'm not mad at you. I'm not fake and I won't do that. So that's, I mean, totally different. So just God allowing you to know that. But for my personality, knowing who I am, I'm not saying you're type 1 because I don't know, but knowing who I am just helps me, that I know I can react in a bad way, and I just have to step back like for a minute and just get a hold of my thoughts, go in my bedroom, get a hold of my thoughts so I don't say things that's going to hurt, you know, them. Do I do it 100% of the time? No, but I am so much better than I used to be. And literally when I walk into the house, I don't really think it puts me in a bad mood like it used to. If it's a mess, it's just more, I don't want to clean this. It's such a mess, but I have to. So just life's not going to be perfect, you know, and it's not. And that's what I feel like moms think, that everything needs to be balanced, and it's not. And I think it's kind of funny what you said, that people have been canceling on you. I don't really know that it's the devil. Maybe it's the Lord. I'm not saying it's the Lord, but what can you learn from it? Okay. What, you know, how can you handle your emotions and what you think, you know, because it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't say that the devil's trying to get you. Maybe God's growing you in another area.
Yeah.
You know, and if it is the devil, well, God's going to grow you through it.
Yeah.
You know, he just will. So, I think it's just, so what are some things that you could do to help you respond and react? What do you think? on Sunday mornings when everybody's rushing late. And yes, maybe we need to get up 15 or 20 minutes earlier. That totally could be the answer.
Yeah.
My personality is not going to do that every time.
Yeah.
It's just not. Maybe yours will, but mine will not.
Well, like I could set my alarm, but then I'll just lay there. And I used to not be like that growing up. Like up until I had kids, my alarm went off, boom, I'm out of bed, off getting ready. And like, I just can't do it anymore. I don't know why. Like,
do you not have joy for the day? Are you
Well,
like dreading your days?
I used to really dread them, but not so much anymore, but just maybe just because there's, you know, a lot of responsibilities
Uh-huh.
and it's not,
Mama,
like,
just last the
I don't know,
game.
just kind of chaos.
Just
That
last
Hang on real
game,
quick.
Mama.
No, and I'm going to take the apps off of your phone if you keep doing that.
I'll tell you which one I don't like. I don't like that one.
Okay, well, we will do that when I'm done.
Okay.
Okay.
Then get a Jessie.
But, and Brian listened to, I thought it was a podcast. Hang on. Oh, I thought I heard a child. No, I did. What is it? Not right now. No. Oh, just being prepared. And we're like, yes, we need to do that, but then we don't really do it. But just like, you know, which he did last week, got like a check ready. And if I planned out my clothes the night before, like, I think planning for me is just like,
Yeah, your night routine and your morning
Yeah.
routine is what's going to help you get your stuff done. Even if it's,
Yeah.
okay, it's 10 minutes, let's set our timer, and every night before bed, we're all going to clean up. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you look over your to-do list for the next day. That takes about, what, 3 minutes, 5 minutes?
yeah,
And then you just say, okay, now I'm going to lay my clothes out, and then that really does help. So it's just getting into a habit.
yeah,
So I definitely would say your night routines and your morning routines are what's going to set your day. So finding that night routine, really making that a habit with your whole family, even Tyler's there, you know, you can't let him stop you from your night routine. Tell Daddy I'm on a call, okay?
Daddy, Mommy's on the call.
So, did you hear her?
yeah,
So yeah, that is something I'm working on in creating that habit of having my workout clothes, and even though I put my pajama pants back on, or I put, or I leave those on, that's just kind of what I've been working on. And even with my husband, who's a night owl, I'm saying, okay, Bree has to be in bed, or we have to start working on her at this time. And if I know this is what helps my personality, that my night routine may be structured and may be a little boring for me, but that gives me in my morning routine, but I know in my mind I have freedom to do some different things during the day. That helps me because that's what my personality needs. I have to have that freedom, and like I'm not boxed in, but I know mornings and evenings, this is what I'm doing.
yeah,
And so that helps me to feel balanced, even though maybe my day doesn't look as balanced as some people's, but that's what does it for me. And I don't know if that would help you. But also, if you knew you were going to go, this is what I trick myself with. I trick my brain, okay? So if you knew you were good, what's one of your favorite vacations to go to? Mountains.
Well, I mean, we don't really vacation. We'll do like day trips or something, but I like to go just to like a little town and explore and go walk around the town and go to their little, I don't know, whatever kind of antique stores or
Yeah, I
little
love antique
country stores or
Yeah.
something. And
Okay.
eat at a diner or something. But
Okay, so do you have a problem getting up when your alarm goes off for those days?
no.
Okay, so that's how I trick my brain. I know that it has to do with joy. I know that it has to do with excitement. Have you ever been so exhausted and like, ugh, and then you get a phone call from somebody and it like peps you up? Okay,
Yeah.
we did nothing physically. We didn't eat healthy. We did nothing physically to feel that way. Something hormonally changed. Well, our thoughts can change our bodies hormonally. Okay, stress, whatever. So that's what I trick my brain into believing, like that I love my days and my joy just as much as going on vacation, because this is a one life that we get to live, and I get to have my daughter here. You know, it really hit home with me again because I had a client of mine whose little girl, who's 3, drowned. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I taking for granted? You know, what am I doing? And I know that is going to be hard to trick your brain into that. But it's that same thing. If I get to get up and I get to do this, and what's fun in our day, you know, and schedule fun for your day. Schedule something fun, and that may be even going and getting a cherry lime at Sonic. And I know or it may be getting to sit down to read a book that you love, or maybe we're going to take a bubble bath today, or schedule something fun in your day every day. And it doesn't have to be an hour long. It can be 5 minutes that you look forward to something. And that can help your brain be getting up, because like, okay, I get this done, and then I get to do this.
Yeah.
You know? But I kept sitting here figuring out, I've thought on this for a long time. Why can I get up early and go with more sleep without more, you know, not as much sleep when things are fun? Or why can I feel excited after a phone call and I'm awake? Like I'll be like, oh, I'm so tired. And I've thought about this for me and my husband, you know, during intimacy times, because how often can a woman just be like, I'm just so tired, you know, I'm not feeling this tonight, or I'm just so tired. But if there's a fun show coming on, or there's something else, like it can wake me up.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm thinking, my husband, I need to be able to wake up for my husband like this. It's all in our brain, Kylie. It still stems back to our thoughts and what we think about things. So can we think of that time with our husbands to be as exciting as something else? And I don't know that y'all have that problem. I'm just going like how a lot of women deal with. So, but where does that start? Well, it starts with tricking our brains. Even though we may not believe that at this time, we have to make our brains feel as excited for that as something else. And that's the same thing with waking up and enjoying our day. And I'm not saying I'm 100% there, but I am so much better that I can, you know, do these things. Now, does my morning routine look the same all the time? It doesn't, because Bree will be on me laying and cuddling with me, and I don't want to get up, or I don't want to wake her up. So what I've done is I've been like, I'm not going to get this time with her very much longer. And so are the dishes really that big of a deal or is this that big of a deal? This to me. So that's my priorities. Everybody's is different, but my priorities is I get to cuddle with this little girl, and I'm not always going to have that. Listen, I already know, because my kids are out of the house. You don't get that for very long. And you don't get them thinking that you know everything for very long. Like, this is mommy and daddy, you know, and you just don't. So I will vary it up just to spend time with her in bed, even if she's asleep, and cuddle her. And what I do is I multitask. So I do that, and I have my quiet time on my phone. You know, I'll have a Bible study app or something, and I do that. And then when I get done with that, I'll work doing some things on my phone. Now, I know I can't do anything with the house, but was that time more special with her, or were the dishes, you know?
Yeah.
So it's really all in how we think. And so that's what I was thinking about when I was listening to that. It's going to be and how you think about what balance looks like, it's going to be, and how you think about, what, when the house is a mess, how you respond to that. It's going to be, okay, if you're late to church, 5 minutes, 10 minutes late to church, if you had peace at home and everybody's happy, that's just going to be better. I'm not going to care what people think if I walk in late. It's just what it is. This is what our family does. But now we're joyful and now we're peaceful. So, or, and what I have found is even when you can create joy, they will get stuff done. Even if you're going, get ready, you can just tickle them and, them laugh and say, okay, can you do this? But it's all a mindset.
Yeah.
And to have the peace and the joy in your home. And it's just looking at other ways that we can, that we can motivate people to get things done. Because literally when people are on me and hounding me, that does not motivate me as much as when they say, wow, how did you get ready so fast? You did that so good. And that just, it will motivate Bree faster than me going, get over here, sit still, blah, blah. How can you be as still as a statue? Let me see. And these are just things that I think of. And so, but I used to not think that way, right?
Yeah.
Not at all. So things have joy in my life has changed, but it's all been right here. So in learning your personality and changing your joy and excitement with what we think, Caroline Leaf, we change our brains. We're in control of our brains. It's not control us. So we can tell our brains literally, now this, they don't know the difference between reality and not reality. So we get to tell it what we want our reality to be.
Yeah. It's so interesting. I always thought our mind is our brain, or, just reading her book. It's you just want everybody to read it, here,
take it.
But yeah, I haven't, it's been a few days since last week since I picked her book up because I had that conference thing for 3 days, and then this week has just been a little busy. But anyway, yeah, I was going to tell you, I had a couple things the worm thing,
Mm-hmm.
My girls do jujitsu, and there's these other kids, a bunch of kids that go, and there was this one dad that brings them, and I heard him telling somebody that they homeschooled, and so I just said, we do too, blah blah blah, and they're the oldest one and my older one get along, so I said, I was going to get your wife's number, so we could get the girls together sometime to play. And anyway, last Monday he gave me her Instagram thing, and she makes sourdough bread, and they have a farm and goats that they milk, and she's all into gardening and just being self-sustainable. Mm-hmm. But I haven't even talked to her yet, but I'm oh my gosh, she has created the life I always wanted to with my husband, but this fear has made me not even just enjoy where we live. But it's because
you have lived kind of in the country, right?
Yeah, but I feel I don't even know how to explain it, but God is kind of, even just through her pictures,
he just called me back, and I have to call him back.
Healing me through somebody else's enjoyment of his creation, to where I don't know, it's just given me a little I don't even know what the word is.
Hope?
Boost or yeah, like okay, I don't know. Anyway, that was one thing I was thinking about this morning. Just like I feel like it's just part of this journey, maybe that.
Yeah, I love that. I love that God's doing that. And I've probably told you this before, but I think what's really cool about what you're saying is instead of really being jealous what they have, you can look at it and say, God, you're showing me this because I can have this if I want it. And I just have to believe that, you're showing me this to show me, hey, this is what you can have and what I can do for you.
Yeah.
But everything you've walked through, I mean, if that's what you truly want, God wants to give you the desire. So I love how he's done that.
Yeah, just like, seeing somebody else's like peacefulness and can be in the dirt and like, or just whatever, like, anyway. But the other thing I was going to tell you was with homeschooling, like we've talked about it, like there's like so much, stuff out there. You can kind of get obsessive or whatever. And I was planning on just kind of doing a mixture. Like a year ago, I had really kind of learned about Charlotte Mason and was like, oh my gosh, all gung-ho about that.
Yeah, I've been there, done that.
Yeah. And there, I had come across, it's called A Gentle Feast, like her, like simplified kind of plan of it. And I bought it just like, oh, I'm just going to buy it for next year, which is weird. But then.
No, that's what homeschoolers do, just so you know.
And then I came across The Well-Educated Heart, which is based on just like stories, and it's not structured. It's like you go on kind of interest, like, and you build on it, and but there's no like structure.
Who wrote that? Because isn't there a well-educated heart?
There's a well-trained mind.
Well-trained mind, well-educated hearts. Now, who is this?
Her name is Marlene Peterson.
Is this Charlotte Mason mainly?
Well,
or classic, or
I say she probably, it's more Charlotte Mason-esque, but she developed, like, she prints these books, compilation of all these books that are not in print anymore, and just like there's just goodness in them, and in the stories, like that people don't get anymore because they're just archived or whatever. And so but she's got like a rotation schedule, but it's in a list of where all the stories fit in, but it's not like you just read those in a row. It's just kind of, you might learn about Christopher Columbus, which might lead you to like want to learn about India, just kind of that.
See, that's my kind of thing.
It's really cool. And I feel like I told my husband, I said, if I had like 1 year to live, 1 year to educate the kids, like this is where I feel like God, like it's like you're tending the heart of your children, not just trying to like put information in them.
Yes. Well, that's what I said. I was looking for something because I wanted to show you something too. Bree, quit calling Daddy. Okay, Bree, I'm going to have you put the phone down if you call people.
Hello?
If I can find it, all my history books are in storage, or I would show you. But my heart in homeschooling was, hang on a minute.
What? Dad? Are you there?
My heart, okay, yeah, Truth Quest history. Have you heard of Truth Quest history?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we would do is, is what it was, like, Truth Quest. I would just, we just take that book and we would learn would just read a real book, and that would spur us on to other things that they were interested in, because these books were so good. And that was really our history. So it wasn't like here, like they have time, it's like, here's the ancient Egypt time and here's the Civil War time or whatever. And you can pick books. So for me and my personality, Bree Nicole Cagle.
Dad just hanged up.
Hang up the phone. He's probably at work. Come here, Sweet Pea. Come here.
Hello, Daddy. What are you doing? Still driving? Hey. Don't hang up.
Sorry, honey.
I don't have really good reception.
Okay, yeah, he can't see you very good. Okay. So anyway, my heart was like, if I can get them to love the Lord and love learning, that was my goal. That was my heart. And they did love learning, and they are learners. And they all love the Lord. Now, they may not make the right decisions all the time, but they've never forgotten him. They know he's there. And even in the midst of people who have been liberals and they don't love the Lord, they still will talk to their friends about Jesus. And so to me, that was, they all learn differently. So my son, who had dyslexia and a tracking insufficiency, he could not ever read good, but then he started to read, and he loves to read.
Mama,
Look at my eyes.
I can't go get him.
No, ma'am. Thank you for saying that. What was I going to say? What was I saying? He reads. He loves to read now. Like, he would come down with a book and be holding it in his arms, like hugging it. He didn't like the Wright brothers biography. He loved that. And now he listens to books on audio tape all the time. He's my podcast listener. He's my, so we had books going all the time from that. If I couldn't read the book and didn't have time, I'd go get the book and we'd listen to it during quiet times in their rooms while they drawed, or when we traveled, we would listen to books on tape. And it was just amazing. Those books taught them so many things.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Well-Educated Stories is, but I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I've seen this, but like, I'm going to look this up.
Yeah, welleducatedheart.com. And she's creating a new website that's supposed to be out like in 2 weeks. That's a lot easier to understand or navigate. But the stories that I have read from her thing, and she does a podcast and reads some of them. I'm like, I think those are like what stick with me, is the stories anyway. But it's so like just freestyle that it's a little hard for me to know how, if I don't have a little structure, our day just isn't, if I don't have some direction anyway. But I showed him and then what's her name, this Salty Tribe, Jane something, she created a curriculum, but it's based like, foundation, just loving God and loving to learn. And it's like Charlotte Mason, Waldorf. I mean, just a little bit of everything type. But the way she created it, it's really pretty, but it's just like, she's got 2 pages of like the little snippet for the week, and then more pages of in-depth. And it's just a little too all over the place for me. But I really liked her feel of it. But anyway, I've just been praying, like, because I was going to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I'm just like, how in the world am I going to do it without like feeling this chaotic? And so I presented them to my husband, and I'm like, what do you think? I just told him about him, showed him. And well, first of all, I've been praying like for months with like no real answer, like, and then I showed him to Brian, and he was just like, I think this one or whatever. And like, I just have such peace, even though like I want them all, like I want all 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like God like answered my prayer like through him, because he wants us to be like united because
Yeah.
homeschooling is like our family, not just putting all the pressure on me to choose it. Anyway, it was kind of cool.
That's
because-
awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I told you I'm putting her in,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I don't know that I'll do that all the time, but I still want to do stuff with her.
Yeah.
So what you just showed me, I thought, oh, that would probably be something that would be good that I could just do with her.
Yeah.
Just kind of, so I always look for little things. Like, I really know I can put stuff together myself, but I like something that's like that, but not so structured, but it just gives me a little bit of guidance.
Yeah.
But you have to know, like, when people start homeschooling, I always say, you have to know what kind of homeschooler you are, number one. And that
Yeah.
takes a while to learn. Like, what will you stick with? What will you hate? Because if you hate it, it's not going to get done, and y'all are going to be miserable. And what's your kids' learning styles like? So learning what they are, but learning what type of homeschooler you are is going to be key. And I always tell people, you know, like I said, that they love to learn and they love the Lord, but building relationships with my kids was huge. So if we were reading a book and that spurred on time, they would remember something and they want to tell a story. They want me to tell a story about family, but I knew math was there. I did let math go on the back burner, and I would build relationships with my kids.
Yeah.
And they got the math down, because what ended up happening was, as they got older, if they missed out on some of this stuff, what they it could have taken them a year to learn, they'll get the concept down in about 2 weeks, because their brain is ready for it. So I studied unschooling a lot and relaxed schooling and learned a ton. And just knowing that so many times we pressure our kids to learn something that it takes them so long. And then, like, even Bree, I can see now, like, some stuff I was doing and I put it like on the back burner because she wasn't ready, and now I do it and just like bam.
Yeah.
So that's what I've learned. When kids' brains are ready, they'll learn it fast. And so you don't have to stress a whole lot. But those building relationships, you never get back. And so I can tell you, I have strong relationships with my kiddos. It's a beautiful thing. And they tell me anything. And I mean, Dusty's always like, I can't believe your kids talk to you like they do. I can't believe they call you like they do. I can't believe that they are so honest and open with you. But it started there.
Yeah.
It started with, and it doesn't look like, okay, now we're going to do this, and now we're going to do math, and now we're going to do this, and now we're going to do that. That's not what it looks like. It might look messy, and it might look unstructured some days, but if you pray and say, God, show me every day what you want me, this is my plan, but where are you directing my steps today? And what do you want us to learn today? And if you feel like building relationships is something that's key right now, then build those relationships, because God does so much in that. So don't ever be worried about that. And maybe you already know that, but I've been there, done that, and I've seen the fruits now.
Yeah.
And my boys, they're smart. Bless you. So they can learn anything that they want to learn. Now, my other one has a little bit more trouble just with the dyslexia with test taking. He's smart, but the test taking part is like, he wanted to be a fireman. He wanted to do military. That's always been my son's just bent. He just likes it. Nope.
Wait,
Nope.
Wait, Mom.
Yes, Mommy.
After you're done with your call, I want this kid, okay?
You don't get it now because you didn't listen right then. Come over here. Look at Mommy. Yes, Mommy. Okay. So, but he failed one section of the fire thing. But then he studied really hard for just that one section, and he made a really good grade. So anyways, that's what I'm saying. But he's very smart in the way that he can learn, So you are you're going to do great. Kylie, don't worry about holes. If you ever worry about holes, don't worry that it has to look like a certain way. Let God guide you, and it'll be beautiful. And if you're ever struggling and it's like, y'all can't get this math problem down, and it's like, just set it aside, because it's not worth the relationship. And then come back to it, because it really isn't worth it. That one math problem is not worth it. And you'll figure it out. Maybe incorporate somebody else to come and tell them how to figure it out. Maybe daddy needs to, or you can find somebody else. So that's what I did. We found people who taught them science and labs because I didn't want to do that. It was a mom in her home and she had classes and I didn't have to do it as they got older. So that was lovely. So there's always things wherever you're weak at, God will provide. Does that help?
Definitely a new trust area with him.
Yeah, and you can do it. So I don't know. And I'm glad we went over this and I hope it helps, but I just want you to trick your brain into joy and excitement and don't think that balance has to look one way. Learn your personality and work with it. And I know that might be hard, but God wants you to know who you are. And I know you're on this journey that's beautiful and he is ready to show you. Like if you're a type 3, you're not living in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't see you as a type 3 all the way, or your secondary is different, or maybe, I mean, your eyebrows and your eyes sometimes make me think, but I have to see, even though I see you every day.
You know, like I, my dad's Italian, and so like my eyebrows were like thick, like when I was young. And so I over plucked them. Like my mom has a high arch, like kind of a inverted V or whatever you call it, upside down. And but I had plucked them, and like I have to like kind of fill them in because I just made them so thin. Like I couldn't even see it at that time, how thin they were, you know. But anyway, so but I think that they're more
circle
rounded than what like I think I try to let them grow in, but they're still just like anyway. But yeah,
look at like I don't do anything with mine. Like I don't like they kind of go down, but they kind of go around.
Yeah.
So, but they don't do that.
Circle.
You see like circle? Yeah.
I see, like when I look in the mirror, like I can see like a circle. I mean, there's like a little point, but I don't know. Anyway, but yeah.
And how you were raised and your secondary is going to fix everything. But I don't want you to get so like I can get, and I know you probably will, but be like, oh, what am I? What am I? But you know what I did? This is what I would do because Kylie, because I am a 1, I saw possibilities in everything except the 4. Knew I was not a 4. So I thought I could be a 2 because I can be gentle and I can be soft and I can be, you know, all these things. But I knew as a child I was too outgoing and that I really probably wasn't. But I decided I'm going to practice living as a 2.
Yeah.
And then I started, and I thought, no, that's not it. So then I thought I was a 3, like literally thought I was a 3. So I started living like a 3, and I didn't question it because I thought I'm just going to do what they say, and I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to see how it feels on me. And I would try to get stuff done. That was a joke. Like trying to be a 3, I can't do it. Yeah. And even the colors, I just wanted to see what it was like. I was in the type 3 group and saying, yeah, I'm a 3 and knowing that really I don't know, but I'm just going to let God show me. And I even had a dream of a golden retriever that was a lion. And I thought God was maybe telling me I was a 3 too. So I really thought I was a 3 too. And, but now I'm a 1. So after living a 1 and getting my clothes and everything, I just know. So if you haven't practiced living in 1 for a while, that's what I would recommend. Have you practiced that?
Well, there was a day last month where I took like all of my t-shirts.
I need to tell you
something. What you need to tell me?
I was wondering that out.
Okay, now you don't get it because you're in here interrupting on me.
Just tell my mom.
You just did.
But I was just wanting to tell you something like that.
I know.
Okay, we'll do it. Okay.
So anyways,
I tried on like a bunch of different shirts that I had different colors and took pictures, and I'm like, okay, do I look washed out in some of them, or do they make me, just like, what am I?
Yeah. Well, but if you do it for a while, like I went and shopped at thrift stores because I didn't want to spend a lot of money.
Yeah, okay.
So I found type 3s, and if I took you in my closet, you would laugh because you're like, oh, there's 3. There's your 3 section, there's your 2 section, and here's your 1 section. And I'm not, because I'm a 1, I'm not going to be all about the rules and follow them all the time. So I will wear I do love black.
Yeah.
Okay? And I don't think I look bad in black. I think I can pull black off. So then I'm like, well, maybe my secondary is a 4, blah, blah, blah. Because there are some people that just cannot pull black off.
Yeah.
I've seen it. But maybe some people think you don't need black, Olivia. But it's just because I've worn it so long. That was all my closet was black. And my husband was like, honey, you definitely need some color in your life. He's like, that's what I'm here for. We're going to go shopping for you. And he's a 2, but I think he's a 2-1.
Yeah.
And so he's a real laid back, real easy going, go with the flow type 2, type 1, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think, well, maybe he's a 1 too, but his personality is so a 2. I don't know. But anyway, what was I saying? But yeah, just get you like a week's worth of clothes and alternate between them, what you think you are.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was to tell you right now, what are you leaning towards the most? Like, what have you been leaning towards the most? Like, is it more of the introvert one? If it is, then go with the type 2, because I definitely don't think you're a 4.
Yeah, I think I grew up living a 4. Like, I had the very, like, striking clothes, like black and white, just anyway, but I don't know. It's hard because, like, I'm, what's her name that's a type 2 on there? And
Anne.
She doesn't like to make her bed, and I'm like, oh, I've got to make it like right when I get out of bed, and I know you can't just go on one day.
My mom is a 1, and she makes her bed every day.
Does she?
Yes.
But
And
like,
I'll say, Mom, you are such a 1, but like I can live with clothes all over my floor. And my husband's like, which one of these is clean? I'm doing laundry. And I'm like, that one's clean. He's like, oh my Lord. And so my mom could never do that. And that is, now I try to keep my room clean, but I'm telling you, there are times that clothes are going to be everywhere.
yeah.
And I do not make my bed. Now I did get some pretty new bedding and everything, so it makes me want to make my bed.
Yeah.
So just so you know, my mom is very 1, and she makes her bed every morning.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and that's, like my daughter, she didn't want to make her bed. And I'm like, Lily, it takes like 30 seconds. I'm like, do you like it made? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, then just make it. It doesn't take very long, you know? And so, but the type 3, like wanting things done and then you can relax. But that's just how my parents are.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you really have to go with your facial features and what's your energy level.
But I am not like I can know what people need to do, but I can't tell them. Like, I don't like the confrontation and like, you need to do this and you need to do that, or you need to fix that. Like, we had to have somebody come fix something on the house, and like I was just dreading it. Like, I don't want to have to, like, I'm not that direct.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
Get something done. But I know what needs to be done, but like, I don't like to be the deliverer of that.
Yeah.
But I don't, the 2 and the 1, but then I'm like, I'm just not that like I'm fun and like to have a good time. But there's also that structured side. So maybe it's
too. Okay. So I have studied and studied and studied and studied. And before she took all of her YouTube videos off of YouTube, I was studying those.
Yeah.
I don't know how long you've been studying Carol Tuttle, but mine's been like a 2-year journey.
Yeah.
And so I used to study all those. And now I like to watch Marcy. Okay, you know Marcy, who Marcy is?
Is
the
she
70-year-old woman who's a 1.
Okay,
She's
yeah,
just like,
yeah,
she reminds me of my mom because she's just so bubbly and everything.
yeah,
And Jalea, she's a 1-4.
yeah.
Well, and I believe me, when I got the one course, I thought that is disgusting. I would never wear these clothes. These are horrible. I am not a 1. That made me feel like I'm not a 1. I would never ever wear sailboat capri pants or
Yeah.
something. I'm gonna wear holy jeans, and I'm gonna be, I'm a little more rugged, and that's just how I am. I'm gonna wear my overalls with my holes in them, and but I
Yeah.
do like cute things. So.
Yeah.
Like Candace Cameron, I know she's a 1, and I see all these cute clothes she wears, and I'm like, oh, let me screenshot that, and screenshot this, and anyway, okay, so I'm really squirrely when I start talking, Kylie, and I forget what I'm saying. So, anyway, what am I saying? Oh, I just thought there was just no way I could be 1. So I started looking at these other ones because I hated the clothes. I hated them. But then when you start getting into the Facebook group, I saw a couple of ones that I was like, oh yeah, I like that. That's me. So I've had to find my 1 style.
Yeah.
But I am not the life of the party. I'm like maybe the light of the party. If I'm at a party, okay, you're going to see me talk one-on-one. And then I'll move to another one-on-one. But I am not going to be the center of attention. It's not who I am. Just not going to do it. But Jalea's like that, and Marcy's like that.
Yeah.
And I think 1-3s are going to be, blah, like Dusty's daughter, I think she's maybe a 1-3. And I'm like, oh, she wants to be the center of attention, or she wants to be, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
It gets on my nerves. Like like I said, I'm more serious. So a lot of things you say, you remind me of me, and maybe we're both wrong. But I just don't think that I'm wrong. I think I am a 1.
Yeah.
And so just how I do things, but I wasn't raised structured. So it's really been hard for me to have structure. Like I was my mom's only child. She paid me to do chores, but she paid me to do chores not very good. And she would give me $20, there was no structure. And when I go visit my dad, absolutely no structure, but he is a hard worker. Like, he's a workaholic.
Yeah.
But I believe
Just a second. Somebody knocked on the door here.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kylie.
Oh, wow, my mom died.
Ouch. Have a hang now.
Oh, it's the mail person. Usually they don't knock and ring the bell. So I thought that's weird. But
yeah, so just try to practice living as something.
yeah.
Yeah. And you are a little bit more reserved, but there's a 1-2 that's kind of if you've seen her, she's got dark hair and it's short, and she does stuff in the videos, and she's more subdued.
Okay. I think I've seen a video where they interviewed like a 1-2 versus a 2-1 to try to see the difference or whatever. And that's what I was going to say is when I bought the course, you got access to all of them, but now that she's made it free, like I can't find all of like the course. Like I don't know if it's just
I think they're on there.
Are they? Like, all of just like there was like a ton of content from what I bought, but now they've made like the course free. It's
okay, baby, that's okay. Huh.
But it just is more like way simplified. Like it doesn't go into detail like it did before. But I need to I've only looked at it on my phone or iPad. I need to look at it. Sometimes on the website, like on the computer, you have more information.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Not that that's your answer, but it does help, Kylie. It kind of gives you oh, this is how I made me. And it gives you freedom to be a certain way.
Yeah.
I can be scattered, and that's okay. I can be a little bit, and I can't juggle all the things. And you may be able to juggle more than me because of your secondary, if you are one, or because you were raised structured. If I'm a one and I wasn't taught that, I can't do it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying no.
Yeah.
Not that I can't do it. It's just a little more challenging for me. So,
Yeah.
okay. Well, as I break this call down for you, and I know we're not meeting again. Oh, and here's the deal for the coaching thing that I told you about.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to wait for this boot camp to go through because I forgot we're fixing to I'll have overlaps with clients. So we're going to wait till this 8 weeks is over, and then I'm going to put all of you into that 8-week one. Is that okay?
Like the next 8 week one?
Yes, because it was just too. I was adding again too much because I didn't see all this overlap, and I thought, oh, this is not going to work.
Oh, because you have some that you're working with.
Yeah, that they've got to finish out. Yeah,
that's peaceful for me because I'm like, I feel like since we got this basement thing going on, and like I'm getting ready for school and stuff, homeschool stuff. Like now I kind of have a breather to like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's what. And go ahead.
I have that. Was it 4 months of the?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, we'll start it now.
Okay.
We'll start your 4 months now.
So then, okay, because then I was like, oh no, if I do the boot camp again, and then I won't be able to dive into that anyway.
No, you've got 4 months of that. So because I'm fixing to work on feet. We're going to work on feet this month, and I've got a physical therapist that's going to do that, and I'm working on some other stuff with like our to-do lists and stuff. So you'll see some overlap with there. I've really been praying because really, like I said, I can't have too much going on, and I've had way too much going on to focus on this and that, and it's been so hard. So I guess for this call, what I was just going to say, you can take everything that you want, but trick your brain. Practice tricking your brain for the joy and like, if you're going out of town or, if you even need that help with your husband, trick your brain. Okay, so this is not going to sound really great, but this is what my life was like growing up because I was sexually abused from 4 different people for years. Okay, so then I was exposed to pornography. And that's the only thing that used to excite my brain because I was exposed to that at such a young age. And so I'm very good at tricking my brain because I had to get that out and all those images out to where I could get, not that I wouldn't get excited, but once you're in like this marriage, like for my 17-year marriage, what I wanted to do was live in a fantasy world that would help me get to this point. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I had to really get rid of that and do a lot of mind work and thought work and belief work to where I feel like I can get, and it's not a dirty excitement. It's just this way that I can feel about my husband and how my excitement can be for him. And so if I can do that in that area, we can do that with anything. And I guess I didn't even realize that's what I was doing. And when I started studying all this, I was like, oh my gosh, because if I looked at something that wasn't great or like anything in a movie, because that's what I was used to, like my body would feel a certain way and my husband would need to make me feel that way. So I've gotten to the point where my brain knows, like I've tricked it. And so it's a beautiful thing. So we can do that when we get up in the mornings and be excited for things. And then if the house is a mess, it's really how we think about the mess. Yeah. And how we can respond in a situation. So, and knowing that life isn't going to be balanced, but how are you going to respond and react to the not balanced part of your life? Because that's what's going to make it balanced is you. Yeah. It's your feelings and who you are. Yeah. And don't think you have to be perfect because you do not have to be perfectionist, because I can have that personality of all or nothing. And that's why sometimes I think, am I a 1-4? Because I can, I can be focused all in on this thing, but all over here is falling apart. And then I'm done, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do that, but I don't know how much of that is a 1 and how much of that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why I really study personality, because it's, and I get tips from these ladies like Carol Tuttle, making me feel like, okay, my AM routine and my PM routine, and then I have freedom here. Because when you said I don't like to feel, what did you say, structured, or I don't feel like I don't like
Confined, or yeah, like
confined.
confined or told what to do. Yeah.
Yeah, that I am boxed in here, and maybe on the weekends we don't do this. So I know on the weekends I'm not going to
Yeah.
be 100, but this is not confined. This is, it may be batched. Like I know my mornings might be batched or what I need to do, but it may not look the same every day. So
Yeah.
if that helps, I hope so. But just tricking your brain to me is going to be the biggest thing that you can ever do, and how you respond to the situations in your house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially with what you're going through now. What's in your house. So I understand that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And guess what, Kylie, you get to practice this.
Yeah.
You know, you get to practice patience. You get to practice knowing that you have favor with Tyler no matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you look like, what you do. It doesn't matter what he thinks. So you can be, you know, confident with who you are and be who you are and walk who you know, and what you're supposed to walk in. And so I just think this is a great practicing playground for you.
Yeah. 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 Like in the past, like I would just fight it, but like I want to grow from it. So I need to not have a wall up.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it made me think whenever you were saying something about, just like having excitement for your husband or whatever. A couple of years ago, well, when I was younger, I remember my friend, like she like found magazines of her dad's or whatever, or, you know, videos or something. And so like I was exposed to that, and it definitely like, I don't know if it's for like all women to like, you know, reach the, you know, orgasm or whatever, like to create kind of like mental images or whatever, like that's something I struggled with. And so I got so like just sick about it. Like, why do I have to like have
thoughts to get you there?
Yes. And I'm like, you know, my husband can just be intimate with me and it just happens. I'm like, why? And so I remember a couple of years ago, I just was like, I'm sick of this. Like, I'm sick of feeling bad afterwards and just, you know, whatever. Like, and I just prayed, and I told a friend this, and it really like has brought her some freedom. And I just thought, I can't even believe I told somebody that, but just, I prayed like, God, you know, you created this, let this bring you glory. Like, I just let this be pleasing to you. I just like not chanted it, but just said that over and over. And like, it happened. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I don't have to have that. But then it's also like, anyway, there's so much.
Yeah, that's exactly what I ended up having to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I couldn't do anything without that.
Yeah.
Ugh. And when I was exposed to so much of it, all those visions would pop through my head, and just, and I'm not saying that they don't try to pop in there now, but I can throw them aside, and you know, they're that. It's just not like it. I mean, it's just wonderful now, but. Yeah. So if we can do that and we can pray, don't forget, like, you know, even though you're tricking your brain, you're also adding in prayer with this, and that God's helping you through it. But can you imagine, like, can you grasp what we can actually do with our minds and our thoughts? Can you grasp that? Like, I sometimes am amazed at what we can do with our thoughts and our beliefs.
Yeah.
We are so hindered by what we believe and what we think that, remember, it's like I want I think I told you something. I want the joy to be the norm, or I want the good thoughts to be the
Stuck
norm.
in joy.
Yeah, and not the bad parts. I want that to be the norm, and I believe we can be there. Like,
Yeah.
not that we won't have bad emotions or be sad, because God gave us all of our emotions, but what can we default to? And I believe we can do it, because that's what God wants us to have and do. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's what I believe. I think we've been on here for 2 hours, and my daughter.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness. I did kind of leave today open, so I just know I don't have a lot to do today, and so that's just freeing for me.
Yeah.
All right, Kylie. Well, we'll be just, you can still stay in touch with me on Voxer. That's good. And I'm going to look at that DYT course and see if I can't see what you're talking about and see if there's a link.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it on my laptop and see if there's another sign in or something, because I'm like, oh, that stinks. You know, you pay for it. I paid for it a couple years ago, and then it's just gone.
I understand how come you can change things in businesses, but definitely, you know, not if we lost content. That's not good.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, girlie. Well, you have a good day.
Okey-doke.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right, thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.